Hello and welcome to another OMFL Jacksonville Jaguars Minute, the recap show I do for the OMFL Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Mike Fleury, aka Mick Fleury, and today we discuss, finally, weeks 1 through 4 of the OMFL season for the Jacksonville Jaguars, starting with week 1 against the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to go right to team schedule, and here we go. At the end of the game, the Jacksonville Jaguars won 29-26, but that was not the full story. Massimo, the Miami Dolphins, dominated in both yards and, I believe, time of possession. Oh God, yes, 23 minutes to 8. This was a one-sided game that somehow ended up in a loss for the Dolphins. As you can see here, Joe Duke was basically unstoppable, 434 yards and 3 touchdowns on a 72% completion rating. His run game did not really contribute much, only about 60 yards. But when you have a passing attack, 2 players above 130 yards, and a team that had, as we said, 400 yards and 3 scores, you don't tend to really need much from the run game. Defensively, they locked up for most of the game, getting 2.5 sacks. Okay. I hate how they do that, but yeah, sure. And 2 interceptions. But somehow, inexplicably, Jacksonville managed to storm back in the second half, while only down 10-0, but still to score 29 points to overcome the deficit. I don't remember a lot of the back and forth of this game, unfortunately. I probably should have watched it back. What I do remember is a very flawed first half and finding magic, I guess, in the second half. Voodoo, possibly. I don't know who has it in for the Dolphins, but as in real life, they seem to be cursed. This was, of course, my first game with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I was just getting used to the team, how they played. Trevor Lawrence, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks were not great. As you see, I had 14 attempts passing, which at the time would have not been enough for FBR. But then you look, and I also only had 11 rushing attempts because I never had the ball. How did I score all the points? Great question. I have no idea. I wish they had like a play-by-play, but I can't look at that right now. The game was so screwy that you can see Gabe Davis, who was my third receiver at the time, led the game with 87 yards for my Jaguars. Sorry, I lost my train of thought right there. Colin Fredrickson, my import superstar, 3 for 86 and a touchdown. And I believe the Travis Etienne touchdown is the one that put us up in the game. I don't have an answer. I don't know what happened in this one. It was a weird game that I had no business winning, which seems to be a trend as we go into week 2, however. This is the exception to the rule because this is a game I probably should have won, except for, as you can see in the top there, 15 fourth quarter points to put me down to lose. As I recall in this game, I had an 11-point lead entering the fourth quarter. Browns score a touchdown, go for 2, miss it. The very next play from scrimmage, ETN, I believe, we're going to check just to make sure because I don't want to blame him if it was Tank. Nope, it was ETN fumble. He had a fantastic game. 13 carries, 111 yards, a touchdown, and on his final carry, he fumbled. They got the ball deep in my And, sorry, again, lost my train of thought. I really need to start scripting these. And they score another touchdown. They go up by 1. Okay, 2. No, they go up by 1 because they go for 2 points again. And it doesn't work. Hold on a minute. Yeah, they go up by 1. They go for 2. Doesn't work. I get the ball back. 2 incompletions, one on a drop pass that I don't believe got credited. We couldn't see it anyways, unfortunately. Another on an out route to Fredrickson that he caught, but somehow didn't get his feet in bounds. Probably should have challenged it, but challenges are very finicky, and I needed my timeouts. Turnover, we end up having to punt the ball. He kicks a field goal. First pass of the next drive. Interception by Trevor Lawrence. Game over. This was a game I should have won, in my opinion. I had a pretty solid lead through much of the game. Now, obviously, we enter halftime down 3, but it was back and forth. I think I was up 14-7 at one point, then the 10 points, I think. Don't quote me on that. 14 third quarter points. It's just a game that really hurt to lose because right now I could be 5-1, and 5-1 would pretty much lock up the division. It's really hard to lose a 4-game lead in the division. So, unfortunately, that game did not go very well for us at the end. Speaking of games that did not go well, the Buffalo Bills game. This was a butt kicking from beginning to end. 4 interceptions for Trevor Lawrence. Josh Allen was practically unstoppable, 70% completion on 17 of 24, 2 touchdowns. Could not do anything about them. Their run game cooked me. 143 yards from James Cook. Another 20 and a touchdown from Ray Davis. Could not stop them. We were down big at one point. It looks, as you can see in the first half, that's 28-13. 31-13 by the fourth quarter. We tried to make a comeback. We actually got it down to within 5 late, but an onside kick was recovered by Buffalo. They scored a touchdown to put the game out of reach. 3 touchdowns from Lawrence was huge in the second half, mostly to get us to bring us part of the way back. Unfortunately, just wasn't to be. ETN had another really good game, 10 carries for 99 yards and a score. Tank, a fumble, unfortunately. And this has been kind of part of a season. I believe we see another fumble in the next game, which is what prompted me to go and get Leonard. And I believe I also signed Henderson, but I had to release him mostly for cap reasons. Roster space reasons. I didn't use him enough, so there was no point to keep him. I didn't use him at all, actually, to be honest. Frederiksen, 5 catches, 110 yards, 2 scores. Ingram finally on the board, 3 for 53. I know some people have taken Ingram in the OMFL fantasy. I apologize. I don't use him enough because of the tight end rule, the don't throw to tight ends and halfbacks and fullbacks. I'm very conscious of that, so I try to not build around throwing to the tight end very often. So it leads to games like this where he barely touches the ball. To be honest, very few people touch the ball. As you see, just 9 completions in the game. He went 9 of 18. It was not a great game for Trevor Lawrence. Almost half of his yearly interceptions this year came from this game alone. That put us to 1-2 entering our week 4 game against the Texans. Now, this is unfortunately a sin. So the way the game worked out was we were playing. I would see another 3 interceptions are not his fault. So that's 7 interceptions on the season in 2 games. The last game, obviously, I earned them. This 3, I didn't. So I'm trying not to count them against him. He's 14-10 this year, so that makes him 13-7, which is not bad. Unfortunately, I was up 20-0. I was having a really good game in the We were somewhere in the third or fourth. I think it was third. Frederickson was playing well, but more importantly, I had Brian Thomas Jr. with a couple big, long catches for a lot of yards. I was finally getting him involved in the offense. And then we ran into the glitch. Stop me if you've heard this one before, where you can pick a play, but you can't actually snap the ball. He eventually got kicked for griefing because the time kept expiring, because he couldn't snap the ball. And we didn't want to play. We had already put 45 minutes into that game. I think you can catch it on this YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure I posted it. We put 45 minutes into that game already. We didn't want to have to do another 45 plus the 20 or so minutes to end it. These games already take an hour and 10. We replayed it. It would have been 2 hours of our day. We didn't want to do that. Roger was... Is it Roger? Yeah. He was nice enough to just give me the win. I was already up big. Unfortunately, statistically, this game is basically irrelevant because of that. So there's not much to pick apart. Unfortunately, because we're a little behind on these. Why can't I go to... Oh, literally... Oh, Jesus. Because I can't go back on this, I can't show you the league standings at the time. You can see them now. That second win brought me to 2-2. Most of the other teams were 1-3. Obviously, I think Kobe was on a bye early in the season. You won't be able to see our offensive ranks or defensive ranks either, unfortunately. Next episode, we will be doing weeks 5 through 7. What week are we in now? We are in week 7, so I will probably film that Saturday after we play New England, and all of these rankings should be updated. All the stats will be updated, and then I'll have to do this every week because I'm going to try to do 3 games at a time. So next is 5 through 7. Episode 5 will be 8 through 12, so that's 4 episodes right there. Episode 6 will be 12 through 16. Episode 7 will be a full season wrap-up. 8 will be a playoff show, whether we're in it or not. I'll do a recap of the first round, at least as far as our division is concerned. Episode 9 will be an off-season preview. I will also be writing articles for most of this because you need 10 of those to get 50 points. Plus this, silver incentive. Go me. So episode 9 will be an off-season review, mostly looking in terms of free agency. We don't have a ton of money when it comes to that. I'm just going to show you this here. It doesn't show nothing. I have $28 million. You see right here, Frederickson, who we have to bring back, wants about $25 a year. Larson, who we're considering bringing back, wants it's about 12 or so. Here, I'm going to actually go right into it. It's 14. He wants $15 million a season. I'll be honest, he's probably going to hit free agency. I don't want to spend $15 million when I have Armstead and both defensive ends and 2 young defensive tackles. And there's another one whose name I'm missing right off the top of my head. Devon Hamilton, I think. I don't think I have the money. He's a great player. Unfortunately, what do you need? Defensive tackles are basically useless in this game. Through 6 games now, 11 tackles, 6 for loss, half a sack. It's not worth keeping. Cisco is going to get a long-term deal, probably in the 3 to 4 year range right now. He wants, what is that, $6 million a year, 6, 12, 18? So yeah, about $6 million a year, totally worth it. He will get signed. Unfortunately, I have to wait till the end of the season, so a lot of these guys are going to get overpaid. And then you see, obviously, Robinson and Scherf, they'll both be gone, mostly because you can't afford, $12 and $10 million on linemen. That's a draft need. This is all, obviously, going to be coming up, and we'll go over all of it more in depth in episode 9, and then episode 10 will be the draft show. We obviously no longer have our first round pick. Draft picks, we don't have our first, but we have Vinny's 3rd and 4th. And I'm trying for the life of me to remember what the Jacksonville Jaguars traded to get that to get the third and fourth from Minnesota. I'm going to look that up right now because I'm stretching for time. Okay, here we go. In exchange. That helps. Thanks. It looks like they probably swapped draft picks. Minnesota, Jacksonville. So yes, the Vikings moved up to 17 to take Dallas Turner. In exchange, Jesus, the Jaguars received the 23rd overall pick, which I think they probably used on Thomas, if I had to guess. And then the two other picks, plus apparently a fourth. Oh, that's the fourth. Okay, sorry. Oh, it's a third round pick in 2023, and I'm looking at the wrong deal. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong trade. Now I'm just confused. These say 2023 picks. Was there a trade before? I know long silences in radio and podcasts and whatnot are not great. Okay, no. The page I was looking at just had the wrong date. The trade was trading up to 17, and then they got a third and a fourth. So that's where those picks come from. Again, we'll go over more of this in the draft show, which will come in week 10. So that just about wraps things up for us here. Next episode, as I said, we will break down week 5 through 7, and then these episodes will be coming less frequently as we have to build out games and play the games. Usually 2 or 3 weeks, so probably weekly, bi-weekly episodes. So we will be touching on that next time. For the OMFL Jaguars, I am Mike Fleury. And as always, we will add intros to the list of things I need to work on for next time. I think I said intros. Outros. I'll work on it all. I'm very bad.